Do you ever find yourself standing in the kitchen, staring at a cupboard, and suddenly forgetting what you went in there for? Or maybe you've had a moment where you reached for something on a high shelf, paused, and thought, I better be careful. I don't bounce back like I used to. It's in those little moments that the reality of aging really starts to show itself. But here's the good news. Growing older doesn't mean giving up your independence or your confidence. In fact, this stage of life can be one of the most empowering if you know how to take charge of it. Now, I want to talk to you about something close to the heart. Staying independent, feeling confident in your own skin, waking up in the morning knowing you can handle your day without second-guessing yourself or relying more than you'd like on others. It's not about being stubborn or pretending you're still 30. It's about adapting smartly, protecting your freedom, and staying in control of your choices. And that's what this video is all about. We're going to talk about 6 powerful ways you can stay independent and confident well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. These aren't big, overwhelming changes. They're simple, practical steps you can start today. And trust me, they add up. Let's begin with the first one, and it might surprise you. Let's talk about movement. Not exercise, not workouts, but movement. Staying physically independent starts with keeping your body in motion. But I'm not talking about signing up for a gym membership or forcing yourself into a spin class. It's about weaving natural movement into your day in ways that feel good. For example, when you're watching TV, use the commercial breaks to stand up and do a few gentle stretches. If you're able, try taking the stairs instead of the elevator now and then, even if it's just one flight. Or go out in the garden, tend to your plants, sweep the porch, or walk around the block while you enjoy some fresh air. What matters is that you keep your muscles, joints, and balance active. See, when we stop moving regularly, our muscles weaken faster than we realize. And that's what can lead to the little stumbles that become big falls, or the stiffness that makes getting out of a chair harder than it should be. But when you build movement into your routine, even in small ways, you're reinforcing your independence every single day. You're telling your body, I'm still in charge. Now let's add something else to that foundation. Staying mentally sharp. Because confidence doesn't just come from how strong your legs feel, it also comes from trusting your memory, your decisions, your ability to think things through. And here's the truth. Your brain needs exercise just like your body does. One of the most powerful ways to stay mentally independent is to challenge your brain daily, not with puzzles or brain games, although those can help, but with things that truly engage your mind. Try learning a new recipe from scratch, especially one that uses unfamiliar spices or techniques. That's not just cooking, it's memory, attention, and problem solving all rolled into one. Or maybe you've always been curious about painting or playing an instrument or speaking a few words of another language. These things keep your brain lit up, and when your brain is active, you feel sharper, more capable, and more confident in your daily choices. Even something as simple as changing your routine can help. Take a different route to the grocery store, rearrange your bookshelf, call an old friend, and reminisce about memories you haven't talked about in years. When your brain stays curious and active, so do you. And let's not forget one more important piece, how you talk to yourself, because that inner voice, it can either be your best friend or your worst critic. And the older we get, the louder that inner critic can sometimes become. You forget a name and suddenly it's, what's wrong with me? Or you move a little slower getting out of the car and think, I'm falling apart. But what if instead of judging yourself, you practiced encouraging yourself? Imagine saying, I may be slower, but I'm still going. Or I forgot a name, but I remembered the story behind it. Speaking kindly to yourself isn't fluff. It's one of the most underrated tools for staying confident. Because confidence doesn't mean never struggling. It means trusting yourself through the struggles. And the way you talk to yourself in those little moments matters more than you think. Now that we've touched on staying physically active, mentally sharp, and kinder to ourselves, let's keep going. There are more simple, powerful ways to stay independent and feel confident at any age. That and the next one is especially important if you've ever found yourself thinking, I don't want to be a burden. Let's keep moving forward. That feeling, that worry about being a burden, is something so many people quietly carry. But here's the truth. Needing a little help now and then doesn't make you less independent. In fact, one of the smartest ways to stay independent is knowing when and how to ask for support before small problems become big ones. Let's take something simple, like managing medications. Maybe you've got a few prescriptions, a few vitamins, maybe even something you take occasionally for sleep or allergies. It can add up quickly. And if the bottles look similar or the timing is tricky, it's easy to miss a dose, or worse, take the wrong thing. That doesn't mean you're forgetful or failing. It means life is busy, and our systems need a little help sometimes. So here's a confidence booster. Set yourself up for success. Use a weekly pill organizer. Not because you can't remember, but because you don't have to. That's what smart, independent people do. They make things easier for themselves, not harder. You could even set a reminder on your phone or write it down where you'll see it each day. There's no shame in that. There's only strength in choosing systems that work for you. And while we're talking about smart choices, let's talk about the power of your social circle. Staying connected to others plays a bigger role in your independence than most people realize. When we isolate ourselves, especially as we get older, our world starts to shrink. We stop reaching out, we stop going out, we start second guessing ourselves, and slowly confidence starts to fade. But when you keep in touch, even just one phone call or coffee date a week, it reminds you that you matter, that your voice matters, and that you're part of something bigger than just your daily to-do list. It could be reconnecting with a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or joining a local group that shares your interests like gardening, reading, or even walking. The key is this: connection builds confidence. When someone listens to you, or laughs with you, or shares a story that sounds a little like your own, it reminds you that you're not alone in this journey. And there's something really beautiful and powerful about that. Now let's touch on something that can really shift the way you carry yourself, quite literally, your posture. It might seem like a small detail, but how you hold your body can completely change how others see you and how you see yourself. Have you ever walked past a mirror and caught a glimpse of yourself slouching, head down, shoulders rounded, maybe leaning just a little too much on the shopping cart? It's easy to slip into that habit, but it sends a message to the world and to yourself that you're tired, maybe even defeated. Try this the next time you're walking. Gently roll your shoulders back, lift your chest just a little, and look straight ahead instead of down. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just enough to open your posture and breathe fully. It might feel strange at first, but you'll notice something right away. People respond to you differently, and more importantly, you feel different, taller, stronger, more present. Your body is always talking, even when you're silent. Let it say, "I'm still here, I still count. I'm not fading, I'm showing up." And don't worry if you can't stand or sit perfectly straight for long periods. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. It's catching yourself and gently adjusting when you can. Over time, those little corrections build into a natural habit, and that habit reinforces your sense of self-worth every single day. You might be noticing a pattern here. Staying independent and confident after 65 isn't about pretending nothing has changed. It's about making small, intentional choices that support the life you want to keep living on your own terms. Because your independence isn't just about doing everything yourself, it's about having the tools, the support, and the mindset to live your life fully without fear. Confidence doesn't mean never asking for help. It means knowing when to lean and when to stand tall. It's a balance, and you are more than capable of finding it. So far, we've talked about moving more, challenging your mind, speaking kindly to yourself, using smart systems like medication organizers, staying socially connected, and even standing a little taller. These might seem like small things, but together, they create a strong foundation that keeps you feeling capable, respected, and in control. Let's keep going, because there's still more you can do to protect your independence and confidence, especially when it comes to your home and how you move through it each day. Let's take a closer look at that next. Think about how often you move through your home without even realizing it. Getting out of bed in the morning, walking to the kitchen, reaching into a cupboard, stepping into the shower. These are such everyday things that we don't stop to notice them until one of them becomes difficult. And that's why creating a home environment that supports your independence isn't just helpful, it's essential. You don't have to turn your house upside down or start making big renovations. Just a few thoughtful changes can make a world of difference. For example, let's talk about lighting. Have you ever tried to walk to the bathroom at night in the dark, half asleep, and found yourself fumbling around? It's not just frustrating, it can be dangerous. Adding motion-sensor nightlights in the hallway or near the bathroom can make your path safer without requiring you to flip a switch or fumble with a lamp. Or take your kitchen. If you're regularly reaching for heavy dishes on high shelves or crouching low to find something in a deep cabinet, it might be time to rearrange. Bring your most used items to waist or shoulder height so you're not straining your joints or risking a fall. It's a small adjustment, but it gives you more control over your daily routines, and that's a big part of confidence. And let's not forget footwear. You might be used to walking around the house in socks or slippers, but if those don't have a non-slip sole, they could lead to a slip before you even see it coming. A good pair of supportive, slip-resistant shoes worn indoors can give you that extra stability. Again, not a huge change, but it reinforces your independence with every step you take. All of these little home improvements add up to something bigger. They give you the freedom to move through your day with ease, without hesitation, without second guessing. And when you don't have to worry about small obstacles, your mind is free to focus on the things you want to do, not just what you have to do. And speaking of freedom, there's one final thing I want to share with you. It might be the most powerful confidence builder of all. It's simple, but not always easy, and that is believing that you are still growing. It's easy to think that after a certain age, the time for growing or improving has passed, but the truth is, you never stop evolving, not unless you choose to. There's always something new to learn, something new to feel proud of, something new to enjoy. You are not stuck. You are not done. You are not fading. You're simply in a new season of life, one that holds its own kind of strength, wisdom, and grace. Whether it's learning how to use a new app to video call your grandkids, trying your hand at a painting class at the community center, or finally writing down that story you've carried in your heart for years, these are not just hobbies. They're acts of confidence. They're declarations that say, I still matter. I still have something to give. And you do. You have a lifetime of experiences, insight, and resilience, and that makes you incredibly valuable, not only to those around you, but to yourself. Don't underestimate the power of your presence. The world doesn't need you to be who you were at 30. It needs you as you are now, wise, compassionate, and still very much alive in your journey. So let's take a deep breath together. Think about everything we've talked about. Moving with intention, keeping your mind sharp, being kind to yourself, building a support system, staying connected, making your home work for you, and never giving up on your growth. These aren't drastic changes, they're simple steps, but when you take them consistently, they become part of your rhythm, part of how you show up each day. And before long, you'll notice something beautiful. You won't just feel more independent, you'll know it. And that confidence, it'll come naturally. Remember, independence isn't about doing everything alone. It's about living life on your terms, with dignity, with strength, and with the quiet certainty that you are capable of facing whatever comes your way. If any part of this message spoke to you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. What helps you feel strong and independent these days? Your voice matters here. And if this video brought you even a little encouragement, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps others like you find this kind of supportive content. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos like this, full of practical advice, uplifting stories, and reminders that you're not alone. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you feel inspired to take a small step, just one, that brings you closer to the confident, independent life you deserve. Here's to living your best life at any age.